is what we were discussing. Converting the emotions into devotion. Swamiji says here, emotion is a weakness, must not be equated with divine love, which manifests as peace and joy. Which manifests as peace and joy. It always appears like that, because the emotion, when it comes, one will think that that's the truth. In fact, most of the people in this world are guided and controlled and entangled by the emotional activities. They wouldn't like to come out of those emotions. These are like fences created by themselves around them. And they would not like to come out of that fence, because that is most a comfortable zone, what we call. It's a weakness, because they would like to believe something just like that, without any basis. It's an emotional belief. On that basis, he will calculate his own activities, try to fulfill them, achieve them also. But what happens? They are all just like writing a letter on the water. That's all. The emotion itself is unreal. I'm talking about the lower emotions. The lower emotions and higher emotions. Lower emotions, where we are attached to the materialistic world. Lots of misconceptions, as he said, which manifests as peace and joy. Say that you cry, you will feel better. You laugh, you will feel better. Nothing makes you different. It's only that emotion is shed out there. So our emotion is activated. It's not shedding out the emotion, it's already, you are enriching that emotion. Okay? If I cry, I'll feel better. Crying doesn't make you better. Let us make very clear. Crying will make you cry only, that's all. Yeah, scientifically speaking, you can understand it also very well. But we emotionally feel better. See, there's another word. Nobody will believe what I am saying, because they are feeling better. After crying, they feel better. Absolutely right. They feel better, they are not better. That is what you should understand. Yes. They feel peaceful, joyous, but they are not peaceful and joyous. It's only a feeling that you created yourself. Okay, I am happy. Fine, no problem. Nothing wrong. Again. Fine, do it. But one should know, when we are learning these things, we should know what it is. Emotion, lower emotions are nothing but they are all acts of your own thoughts. And based on achieving those thoughts and the results of it, you create so many emotions. I got angry and I got the job done. It is not your anger that the God has done. It is the other man's fear that the job has been done. It is not your anger that has got the job done. It is the other man's fear the job has been done, because he thought, if I lose job, I won't have anything to eat. That fear of that made him that, not your anger. But you said, oh, because I got angry, I got the job done. Your getting angry will never get the job done if the other man is not afraid of it. Can you? The other man who is not afraid of anything, You show your anger any number of times, what will happen? You know afterwards what happens. So it is the lower emotion. We are all entangled in that lower emotion and we believe that is true. We are entangled with that. You have to express your emotion for others to know what you are. Is it necessary? The lower emotions, so here when we are talking about Bhakti Yoga, those are considered as absolutely null and void. It has no significance in our life. They are only certain comforts, certain temporary comforts that which you are deriving in the materialistic life. Oh, there's a song, there's a song. पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले, झूठा ही सही. See, this is the attitude of ours. The whole world is running on this only, that's all. झूठा ही सही. प्यार दिखाओ जरूर, ठीक है, I am happy. Is it true? Yeah, is it true love? Is it true reaction that you are giving? No. Even if it is for a moment, jhota hi sahi hoga. Bhakti bhi hai sahi hai. Any emotion for that matter. I am talking about, suddenly I remembered about that song when I talked about this lower emotion. This is how we get happy. Okay, I am happy. We are entangled with those misconceptions of the lower emotions and lower mind, which cripples us to be the slaves of the emotions. Throughout life we are just doing that slavery of those emotions, knowingly that it is wrong, knowingly that that's why jhota hi sahi. We know that. Bhagavan says is that the lower emotions are not suppressed, however, but are utilized and sublimated. With emotions there is no love. And without love, one cannot approach the infinite love that is God. Absolutely clear. Love is not that which can be expressed, controlled, or created, or enriched, or transmitted, or confessed through emotions. It has no way there, because emotions in love is nothing but vyavaharika. It is not adhyatmika. It is vyavaharika. So is why he said, without emotion, that however that utilize, they are all utilized for sublimations. And without love, and true love is nothing but not getting anything, just giving, emptying yourself, surrendering yourself, samarpanam in totality. And he says that without emotion there is no love, and without love one cannot approach the infinite love in the God. This emotion which is known as the higher emotions. That's why the emotions have been divided in the lower emotions of the intellectual path of emotion, that's at the lowest level in the mind level, for materialistic benefits. Materialistic means egoistic benefits. It is our ego, we get satisfied with the expression of love, receiving love. Oh, he loves me so much. He measured it. How much? He convinced himself. I convinced myself I am being loved. Fine, no problem, because if that gives you satisfaction, definitely you get entangled. That's what, but it's a misconception. You get entangled in that crippled emotional entanglement and then live the whole life in a misconception. But in a higher emotion, there, because emotion is in the Jivatma only. It is not about that. In the Atma or Paramatma, there is no emotion. It's only in the Jivatma. So in the Jivatma, if it is a lower emotion, it's an entanglement of crippling down to you to binding into the misconceptions and surviving into that, in the cyclonic effect of that. That's all. But in the higher emotions, what happens? You come above you and surrender yourself. In order to surrender yourself, you have to have a higher emotion. So long you are loving yourself is it's a lower emotion, because your body, your needs, your requirements, your comforts, your benefit, your no benefit, your suffering, not suffering, they are all connected with your sharira and with your mana. Those which are connected with your sharira and mana are only for comforting the ego, satisfying the ego, which is absolutely false, because the ego itself is a falsehood. It is only that, with that concept, if we want to do bhakti, it is not a bhakti, it is cheating yourself, deceiving yourself, as we are deceiving ourselves, thinking that I am being loved, I am being cared, I am being this. Maybe it is there, materialistically something may be there. But it is that way, it is how you are entangled in that. It's absolutely, it is not wrong to love somebody, to see somebody there. No problem at all. But if it is for a benefit to derive out of that love, then it is a lower emotion. Love is not at all bad. As they said, love is God. And the God is love. God doesn't expect anything from you. If love is God, translated to that, God is the one who doesn't expect anything from you. He only gives. Gives a blessing, protection, ashirvadam, karaksham, sarvasva. As a shadow, he is with you. Whether you want or not, he's always there. It's a shadow. That's the true love. That's what God gives, Guru gives, God gives, Mahapurush gives. Those kind of love, which is not expressed to you in egoistically satisfying you or egoistically showing you that, look, take my birthday gift because I love you so much. Once in a year I love you. The birthday. May God make this day of you great. Only one day. They will never wish you for whole year. Have anybody wished to? Tell me honestly. किसी को let there be happiness throughout the year till next birthday. Jokingly said, but is it not? This is exactly what it is, because that's why I said pal bhar ke liye. Happy. Oh, dekha, kitna greetings hai. Infinite love. Infinite love is, I have expressed about the love earlier also. It is only the man who has got capability of submitting himself, surrendering himself, is the greatest love. Not only greatest love towards the God, greatest love towards him. When he receives, he is accumulating unwanted materialistic karmic effects. When he is surrendering, he does the benefit to him, because he gets evolution, he gets liberation from this body and mind. He is doing himself, he is doing a great service to himself. The great service to himself is that the capability of loving in case, surrendering to the Lord. Pray to the Lord, no problem. But surrender to the Lord. Not ask the Lord to give you something. That's not bhakti. He says that that's not bhakti. That emotion is bhakti. That emotion is transformed into bhakti when you are able to surrender yourself. Not for asking, but we all want this, that, material actually. We are asking for materialistic benefit. There are very few, probably there are You can count on fingers that who would like to have absolute, yoga avastha with the Lord. You will look for certain benefits which you are karmically accruing in your system. That's why the love, one cannot approach the infinite love that is God. When the God is infinite, I'm classifying each and every sentence. When is the God is infinite, and when love is infinite, and because of that infinite love only, the infinite God can be attained. How can finite gain the infinite? How is it possible? The finite cannot give the infinite. From the infinite only the finite can come, but finite cannot attain the infinite. It is not possible. That simple understanding has to be there. So the bhakti most of the people are showing is only at a lower conscious level, which is meant for materialistic, sharirik, manasik, labh or benefits of it. That's all. The favor of it. That means that too, it is only a temporary enjoyment. It is only a temporary satisfaction, that is it. Because we are asking for temporary things, so temporary satisfactions will be there. Our ego gets promoted on that. Your ego gets boosted on that. But what happens is that, these have been created. Then why all these things have been created? Why all these misconceptions have been created by Shastras, Vedas, Hindu Shastra, whether Hindu Shastra, Islam or Sikh or Isai or whatever it is. Everywhere there are certain formalities. Why all these formalities? As I told you, in some religion they say that baptizing. I am christening you. Who the hell are you, to christen me? It is me who has to decide, is it not? Nobody has got any what is that? What do you call power of attorney from so and so that you are appointed as a. All transactions can be done by you. No. It is a self, each individual. Sorry for using those languages, but it is like that. That's the truth. Nobody is authorized. No Pandit is authorized to give you liberation. For liberation, you only have to work for it. No Pandit is authorized. There are methods of puja, there are methods of functions, there are methods of these things. They can function on those limits, but he has no powers to physically take you. Then everybody would like to want, like the Yudhishthira has gone, bodily one would like to go to Swarga and see that. Have a visit of that, have a picnic there and then come back. How is Swarga functioning? No, Yudhishthira did that. Probably, Mahabharata, the Uttarakhand, it is Yudhishthira at last, everybody died, he only was. Then Narada Muni, takes him around and shows him the city. Okay, that's different. I am not going there. Bhagavan says, his practice is carried out by both formal worship and by seeing the Lord in all the names and forms. With purification, the receptive heart receives the continual flow of divine love. How can you feel the continual flow of the divine love? Means the God presence. So he says that with purification and receptive heart. Here it is meant heart, can be mind. Receptive mind, actually it's not receptive. Because emotion, he spoke about emotion, he spoke about heart. But it is literally translating into receptive minds. What is a receptive mind? A receptive mind is that only for those who are able to completely surrender only has got the receptive mind. receiver and a transformer, we call it. What is receiver and transformer? The one who is transforming only gets the receiving. Otherwise it gets stagnated. Like a river, water flows constantly. It gets constantly. The lake doesn't flow, it doesn't get a constant flow of water. The receiver has to be flowing actually. So then only he can receive it. That's why he said continual flow of divine love. It is not temporary, divine love. When you are absolutely in the form of the surrender and absolute continuous flow of that is coming to you, you will get it. The flow is always there. The river is there. You have to go to the river in order to get the flow. You come out of the river, it is no more there. Same way, if you have to have continual flow, you have to have continual surrender quality. A continual surrender quality only can create a continual flow of the divine love in you. Otherwise, they call it as it is withdrawn from you. The benefit you would not derive. Well, last year I did 20 days puja. That if you have done 20 days puja, 20 days benefit also you have derived. After that, it is not derived. It is a process like that. It has to be constituted continuously, that you have to be on that path, on that principle. That's why I always say that meditation is not a process of 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour. It's throughout. I have number of times I might have told you this. See, it's not that if we let us not misunderstand it. Dhyanam, not meditate, forget about meditation. Dhyanam. Dhyanam is a status of the mind, indriyas, and the intellectual center, as well as the jivatma. Be in the state of the dhyanam at all times. To be in the state of dhyanam at all times only, we are practicing all these things. These are all practices. By this practice, our mind can be created into total dhyanam. It is not that the pleasing of the God or not pleasing of the God. God is always pleased. Please remember one thing. God is always pleased. A jnani, a maharshi, a tapasvi, a great guru is always pleased. There is no displeasure in him. There is no unpleasantness in him. There is no displeasure. If there is a displeasure in a great guru, he is not a guru. If there is a displeasure in God, it's not a God. How can there be displeasure? The universal yogi, the total yogi, yogendra we call it. No, everything is he. We also told that even in the Kala Kuda Visha, even in the Hala Hala Visha, I am the one who is prominent in that Visha. He said, Bhagavan said. If that is the case, where is the question of displeasure? So the God is not displeased at any point of time. If you are having bad ill effects or bad effects of your life, it is because you came away from that. You came away from that. You wanted temporary benefits, you derived temporary benefits. Instead of 2 coconuts, 14, 12 coconuts are broken and then came off. You heard the sound, very nice, and then came back. Happy. Somebody breaks 101 coconuts, 108 for Vinayaka. Vinayaka, pleasant or unpleasant, he is always stable. 101 coconuts doesn't make any difference. But if your coconut is broken, then he is happy. You have to break your coconut, then he is happy. Not that coconut there. You see, the principle is that actually. Breaking the coconut is that. That is, even though jokingly expressed, the true love is that. There's displeasure. In Bhagavan there is no displeasure. He is never unhappy or displeased with anyone, even to a total murderer, even to an insect, to a mosquito, as well as to something else also, who spreads the diseases. Also he is pleased. There is no displeasure in him. When there is no displeasure in him, how can he express displeasure? So God doesn't punish. Punishment is done because of your wrong karmas. You came away from the limelight, or you came away from the belief, and you came away from this the total dependency of the Lord. But He is there as a shadow with you. If you do not want to depend on the shadow, shadow says fine, no problem. Shadow cannot overtake you. Shadow. If you depend on shadow, shadow will take care of you. Human being look for shade, not for shadow. That's a problem. You look for shade, not for shadow. So, the barrier between the individual soul and the Supreme Soul is the ego. That's what exactly it is. It's that ego satisfaction which creates all this problem. Desires, attainment of the physical and emotional and personal, we call it as personal. Emotional, egoistic, I must have it. I is very big, very fat and big after eating for 60 years or 70 years. The I is only eating. Who is eating? I is eating. And I have become fat. I have become fat. By eating that for so many years. No. That's the problem, he says. The Supreme, the in-between, that I comes. I want this, I want this. Somebody challenges also God. If you have any power, वैसे इन मूवी में देखा है ना, तुम में अगर शक्ति है तो you have to do this for me. That also is there. Fine, no problem. But Bhagavan says here the Supreme Soul is ego, the division between the individual soul and Supreme Soul is the one who is coming. The ego is always there. The aham is there, ahankara is always there. When it is formed as a jivatma, to perform as a jivatma, that ahankara is necessary. Only to that extent, that's all. Why am I a jivatma? In order to fulfill the requirement of the karma bhalas. To that extent, the I is there. After that, the I has to be vanished. So the I should be so small. But what happened was the prominency of that I in the ego have become very high, because in each and every activity, the I, not this I. क्या करें? It manifests as a feeling of separateness. It manifests as a feeling of separateness. When you have egoistic approach to the Lord, egoistic approach to the God, praying that, look, I will give you, okay. Actually, why? If I'll give you, there are people who have donated to diamond necklaces, and many of the film actors and actresses and many of diamond necklace to the Lord, diamonds of the crores worth of things, donation, giving to the Lord and all that. Is it necessary? And if it is not necessary, why is it being given? There's always one goes to puja with empty-handed, nobody goes. Nobody says, Bhalam Pushpam Palapatram Tuhem. Anything that one of this you take that is good enough, Bhagavan said, even if one patra is good enough for me to be happy, that's enough. It should represent your surrender for that giving God. That means I am submitting myself to that submission. The principle started from there actually. It's not a kind of submission. And it has to be very small actually, not as wealth. God doesn't need it, in fact, we don't have to. Then the practice has become like this, that when we go to any place like where the temples are there, Guru is there, God is there, tapasvis are there, small children are there. There are in Vedas, it is written. Such places you should not go free and carry something. Small babies, small children, we bring chocolates or small things. It is necessary because they are innocent jivas. You enlighten those innocent. They give you a smile when you give him a chocolate. That innocent, that purity in that, when it reflects on you, which person, let him be a very hardcore criminal. No? Even he, if a small baby smiles at him, his heart will melt. Is there anybody whose heart will not melt by looking at a small baby smiling? Even when it is shown in television, we feel so happy. When small children smile and all, we feel happy. We know it's at the television. What is that actually? The reflection of the purity in you will make you bring you to ecstasy to you. If that's why you are taking the gift. So if you take that one patram to Bhagavan and Bhagavan smiles, let us physically put it that way. Bhagavan smiles at you, what will be your status then? Is why you are carrying something. He has told that very specifically, Bhagavad Gita specified that. Even one patra is good enough. One grain of rice is good enough. So many examples I have told you, so many stories about Ujjaila and all that, with one grain of rice. That is the representation, not that, you have to, this is how the practice has come. So somebody said, this is where it is. Now the principle is what? Atma Samarpanam, through this representing, and some representation has to be there. Through this, I am doing the Atma Samarpanam to you. That's it. With one leaf of Tulsi, one leaf of Vilyopatra. I am doing Atma Samarpanam to you. Please accept me. Fantastic. What happened then? If I give, the ego starts playing there. There it is oneness. When I give this, I get a blessing from him. That is good enough and he comes back. That becomes a yoga. Then the ego plays in between the soul and the infinite. Ego plays, if I give only one patra, he measures according to his level of thinking. If one patra, that means he will give little blessing. Suppose I give one big patra, he will give more blessing. Or big things, more blessing. Is how this got multiplied. Now the man who gives worth of crores of diamond to the feet of the Lord and asks for something, you can imagine how big and how high and how big is his ego. Is his ego obstructing him between the Lord and him? That time you are placing it at his feet, you just fold your hands and stand there. What that is good. This is the truth, the difference between the Bhakti. But today's world, you will find there is crowd, there is no place in temples. Any temple you go, small or big, anywhere, there is a big crowd. There is a crowd. There is no Bhakt. Paper advertisement, Bhaktajan. Stampede of Bhakts. Stampede of this crowd only. Cattles. No Bhakts. No Bhakts are there. No Bhakti. They are all going for some sort of status. Let it be any religion for that matter. I am not talking about only one religion. Any religion for that matter. Somebody wants a position, somebody wants a status, somebody wants this, somebody wants... Great ego plays on that. That's why the giving in temples have increased. Look back days, years ago. The same stone temple, same oil lamp and same vyavastha. No barriers, no hand railing, no marble floor. It's not necessary in temple. Simplicity is the embodiment of the temple. That's why it's all built by stones and paving and things. It's okay, little comforts. Not for luxurious, granite flooring and then air conditioning of the temple. No, it's not that. Because you have to. It is not important. That means you are giving more importance to your comforts than the surrender of yourselves. So there's a lot of significance there. It is not that if people can build temples those days, even Raja's temples, old kings' temples and all that, all built by those stones, carved stones and but whereas the palace is all paved by granite and whatnot, whatever it is, those days. Why he has not built a temple according to that? They were advised by the Maharishis, Raja Rishis used to be there, or the the advisors, gurus were there. No, that is not that. They are not going for comfort. Is why it was built like that. That simplicity, representing the simplicity. When there is simplicity, your mind also should have that simplicity, the submission of simplicity. Otherwise, it will not be there. It's why those things. Anyway, they are all different. So I just tell you why it is being made like that. So what is the ego playing? In every small thing, the ego plays. Nowadays, man coolers are kept so that you get peace. Earlier it was not there. You sweat. With that suffering, are you ready to pray to the God? Why hills? Temples are made on the hills. You have to take the trouble of climbing them. Climbing them and visiting them. To make you understand. That. These are the reasons why these things have been done. It is not that they could not afford to do it or they did not know how to do it. It's not that. Much more sculptures were much more there on those days than what you are talking about today. So what I am trying to tell you is that why did I tell you all this is that the word ego has come in between. All I am doing is only for my pleasure, not for God's pleasure. I am praying for my pleasure. So if I am doing that, I am praying also to my pleasure. Prayer should be. So what happens? Bhakti does away with feeling of separation, for in the ecstasy of pure love and devotion, the consciousness of individual self is lost. With the surrender of ego, the individual becomes an instrument in the hands of the God. The ego is everywhere. That is why Jnana Margam and Bhakti Margam, you won't find any difference. There also it is told that the ego has to be surrendered. Same thing happens. Here also the ego has to be surrendered. Let the emotion be there, transform the emotion into bhakti. Not for the benefit of boosting up your ego, but losing your ego. That should be done. That's what his emphasis on all these words or sentences have improved, that with surrender of ego, the individual becomes the instrument in the hand. This state is beautifully symbolized by the image of Krishna playing the flute. The flute is empty. It is nothing there. But when Krishna blows the air into it and controls the flow of the air through different positions, it becomes a music. You should be that flute. You should be that flute. Don't think that you are producing that music. It's because of you the music is coming. No. It's because he is blowing into you, the music is coming. You be the flute. That means your ego should be complete. Otherwise, you are equivalent to just like a bamboo. That's all. principle is so beautiful, it is. Egolessness of the flute. You should be like a flute without any ego. Absolute no ego. When he plays with me, it becomes a music. When he is not playing, I am just a bamboo. That's it. I, a bamboo in his hands, I am a great musical instrument. Who is instrument to make it music? Instrument is also he. Playing is also he. Everything is one. So this is what Bhagavan said, God. He takes neither the credit nor blame for his actions. The person who is egoless, he doesn't take any credit or blame for his actions, for God does the action. The devotee thinks of nothing but God, should be the status of Bhakti Yoga. The Lord in is not that he is doing something, or Bhagavan is doing that. Bhagavan will Bhagavan do, bless me? Will Bhagavan do the rectifications, what is there in my karma? Will it this, nothing. The faith will reduce all that automatically. When you think of, as I told you always, whatever you think, you become that. When you think of God, you become the God actually. The godliness will be filling in you. That's why the principle of the Vigraha Aradhana has been started by great Maharishis and Adi Shankaracharya and others, many people, only because the faith in the people and the understanding in the people of the true godliness have gone down. Is why in Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga and even half of Dwapara, Murti Puja was not there, Vigraha Puja was not there. After that only the Vigraha Puja started. After that only Vigraha Puja started. So Vigraha has been again, it's a discovery of the great Maharishis and Tapasvis and Jnanis. They said people are unable to concentrate, people are unable to make a medium towards the liberation. They are unable to think what is God. They are unable to think how to do tapasya, how to mediate themselves with the Brahman. It is not possible. So what happened? They give an importance to that. Avahana has been done, chanting has been done, creating of vibrations have been created, and then represented this as a temple. What is the true name of temple in Sanskrit? You know? What's the word? What is the word to the temple? Baki sab temple, mandir, it's a baad mein hai na. Mani ek mandir. It's a baad mein hai na. What is the true word? Kshetram. In Sanskrit, for the temple, it is Kshetram. What is the literal meaning, dictionary meaning of Kshetram? You must have studied in mathematics also. Kshetram, Kshetrapalam. Area. The measurement of area is called Kshetrapala. You must have said, I don't know whether you studied in your own language. We don't say Kshetrapalam. What is Kshetrapalam? Is the area, measurement of the area. Area, Kshetra means area. Where is it? Where it shows that? Area of what? Identify. Kshetra Vibhaga Yoga of Bhagavad Gita. There comes. Kshetra. Kshetra means that area where you do your prayer. Kshetram, house is also Kshetram, where you live. Kshetram of, even in the football field is also known as Krida Kshetram. Krida Kshetram. Where the Krida is done. So everything is a Kshetra. Kshetra means area. Kshetram, which is it. Padmanabha Swami Kshetram. When you go to south, you will listen to more of Kshetram. Kshetram is an area, nothing other than that. Kshetram, area to do the puja. So in that area you do the puja. That's Kshetram. He has not told that God lives there. It's the area where the puja is there. Because that facility has been provided to you in order to do Kshetra because of the energy circulation. Scientifically proved, of course. Scientifically done. It's not just like that done to have emotional blackmailing of the people to be done. So Maharishi thought of doing that. No. When he did that, he knew it is meant for the people to derive the benefit out of it. But when he did the establishment of Kshetra, did right in the right manner, not just like that, put one shivling or put one, vigraha and start puja. No. Calculation of energy has been done. According to Vastu Shastra, positions have been located and the seat has been designed on which the deity has to be seated. You must have heard about that, no? That underneath, all the metals in Gadas, like all the metal, Ashtaloham, all the metals have been dug and inside it is there. It's a big principle. I don't want to start that subject because it will never end. I'll tell you short. Metals are the conductors. Earth is an insulator. Directly placing a deity on the earth will create only insulation. By standing there, nothing happens to you. So what happened? He made, they made kalash, number of kalashas. In the stupa, below the stupa, as well as below the deities, all these metals have been provided. Thousands of kilos of metal. Many people contribute to that. It is on that this deity is sitting. That means why? Why? Because when the chanting is done in order to do the avahana, the vibrations that is because of that will reflect from the metals to the vigraha. And in this one, it will be isolated. It will be just isolated because it's an insulating material. Earth is an insulator. Dead. That's why it's dead weight. Dead we call it as. It's dark. Earth is darkness. Black in color. Earth is meant for isolating everything, absorbing everything, isolating everything, nullifying everything. Any impact, even the greatest lightning that takes place, the earth absorbs it. It doesn't reflect back. If there is a metal, it will reflect back. So what happens? The chanting that when the Tantri does the chanting for Vigraha Aradhana, Vigraha installation ceremony, that's Pratishtha, what we call. Number of days, there is a calculation. So number of times and all that. First of all, based on the energy circulation, they create the Vastu Shastra, they create the where should be the place and how much should be the sanctum sanctorum and how far the people should stand, how much should be the parikrama area, how much should be dhyana area, in which corner the water should be there, the well. Those days inside the temple itself there used to be well. There are wells. Well should be there, where the spout after washing this should go, and where the puja material should be kept, where people should make malas for that, where the flowers have to be kept, from which direction it has to be faced, and which direction people should stand and pray, and these are all calculated purely mathematics, purely based on the energy flow in the atmosphere of that particular place, and have been calculated and specified, drawn according exactly based on that this installation has been done. So that, why? For all that? Why all that? So that you derive the maximum benefit of it. How much of troubles they have taken, and you go with your small silly ego, go there, hey Bhagwan, give me that lottery ticket should be. See how much of elaborate arrangement has been done. For what? For the benefit of you to have the merge with the Lord, And you go and ask for small tidbits and then insulting that absolute science, insulting the Lord actually. They are asking for small things, you are insulting the Lord. Please understand, am I right? Repeating it is. Bhakti Bhava, what is Bhakti? The Bhakti what you are seeing today is not Bhakti, all for some benefit. Tirupati had to make special chambers during demonetization time. Luckily, I don't know whether the government has replenished that or not. Nowhere in the records. That is our bhakti. Bhagwan, note nahi chalta hai to tum le lo, apne sambhalo, because you have got a direct link with what is that? Reserve Bank of India. Anyway, I won't get it anyway, so at least you enjoy it. This is our attitude of bhakti. I'm not demeaning myself. Jokingly said is different. You're not demeaning God. You can't do that. Are you not demeaning yourself, your quality, your powers, your shakti, your bhakti, your quality of self-status? Are you not ashamed of that, doing that? You should feel very small, dirty. In fact, in order to behave like that in front of the Lord. It's an entity, the divine power you are representing. No, it's representing. And I am behaving like this. How silly, how small, how treacherous, how much of curses we are getting for that. Ready? I have created you for, even though creation is different, created you for something great. What will happen? A withdrawal from the blessings of the Lord takes place. Darkness comes in their life. Who created it? It is you. It's because of your ego, your personification of the egoistic, beneficial fencing that has been created in you. That's what has created. That's what has created the wrongdoings or the curses on you. That's what Upanishads and Vedas have tried to explain. Jnana Yoga have tried to explain this in detail. So what happens? It is the self. Bhakti. Unless the bhakti is there inside you, how can you see? You have to be a true bhakt. Not for eating Naivedyam, you have to go to the temple. You can make it at home also. I'm giving so much of the frustrated words on that, so that to make you conscious that how frustrated you should be when you pray like this is what I'm making you aware of. We have to be, we have to believe, yes, we have faith in God, no doubt about it. That's a supreme Brahman, we have got a faith. But He is not meant for all these tidbits of small things. He is meant for showing you the path to liberate yourself from the cycle of birth and death and karma. Work for that. All other misconceptions have to be removed. The rituals have been created. You may ask me that question. Yes, why these rituals have been created? I told you. Rituals have been created for those ignorant people who cannot understand the Tattvajnanam, Brahmajnanam in the right words or perception or by Guru's satsanga. They cannot understand because they are at a lower level of in the creation. They have to be promoted. So they have to be emotionally attracted and attached towards that. Is why the rituals have been created. As I told you, this has happened only in the mid of Dwapara Yuga, not before that. God is experienced by each individual in his own way. whichever God it is, he experiences. He is the communion of everything, and everything is to be worshipped. That's why in Hindu Shastra, in Dharma, tree is worshipped, snake is worshipped, rat is worshipped, what not. Dhanyam is worshipped. We say Lakshmi and Dhanyam is Lakshmi. Is worshipped. Water is worshipped. Yes. Surya is worshipped, Chandra is worshipped, Bhumi is worshipped, Akasha is worshipped, wind is worshipped, light is worshipped, everything is worshipped. Why? Because the principle being to make you conscious. Where is God? All over this is God. Not in that particular tree near Bidi Dukan. Any tree, Bhagavan. He is the consummation of everything. He is the consummation of everything. Hence, everything to be worshipped is well. In you, me, in the matter, in material, in earth, in tree, in this, that, everywhere that Brahman is there. I told you about this Brahman staying there in the mana and all that in the previous class. I have talked about that. Make yourself aware now. Make yourself conscious. Now, what should be the bhakti? Bhakti, Jnana Marga and Bhakti Marga is ultimately you will find when you narrow the differences, elaborate and Sthula Bhava and Sukshma Bhava, you will find all are same, absolutely same. There is no difference. One is converting the emotions and do that, another is going into the ashram and learning it from the Guru and doing that. That's all. Whichever you find it is easier, you can adopt it. There is no problem. The liberty has been given to you. So Bhagavan says, God is experienced to each individual in his own way. The idea is strikingly illustrated in Srimad Bhagavatam, in which Krishna assumes many forms. Lord Vishnu assumes many forms, not Krishna. I spoke about this only, I think last class, Kurma Avatar and things like that I spoke to you. How many of us see that? Why these avatars have been created? Why these avatars have to be taken? Avatars are there, definitely there. Even in Kali Yuga, among us, hundreds, not few. There are quite few punyatmas. You should have the eye to see. That's what I told you. That's it. So, Bhagavan says, their yearning for him lies in their knowledge that he is the Lord. Their fulfillment is in the fulfillment of divine love. While immersed in bliss of dancing with him, they experience who? The gopis, the dancing with him. They experienced Samprajnata Samadhi. Samprajnata Samadhi is that he feels, it's a Dvaita Siddhantam. I am deriving a pleasure out of dancing with the Lord. Samprajnata Samadhi. It's a Samadhi, but it is Samprajnata Samadhi. It's deriving benefit out of it. The sum is that Prajna means what? Prajna is that experience of the godliness. It's Prajna. By your experience. I have explained what is Prajna. Samprajna. Deriving the Prajna for the purpose of the some sort of auspicious benefit. Some is auspicious. For auspiciousness. Is why the dancing with the Lord is Samprajna. Not dancing anywhere. So Samprajna. Prajna is this. Now that has to be converted into when after dancing with Samprajna, the Bhagavan, what happened? They said that from the gopis, Bhagavan suddenly disappeared. He went to Mathura, never returned back. Then the gopis were asked to meditate. They found the pleasure of his company in them. Even though he was not there, they felt the pleasure of the company in his company in them is asamprajnata samadhi. Samprajnatam, asamprajnatam, where there is no pleasure of being together, but asamprajnata, without any, what happened? I grew beyond the prajna. It's asamprajnata samadhi. It's samprajnata samadhi, asamprajnata samadhi. That's the state, asamprajnata samadhi. Now, here he gives the example. This gives away the highest superconscious state. When they become one with him, however, Krishna separated himself from them, and when their egoism made them feel that they had ensnared and could control him. So this is what we have explained. The same thing I have explained to you, that when they have separated. Now here he says, a true spiritual guru, Lord, and great Maharishis and Tapasvis. Here important it is. This I have told you in different way little before about the God. All these people, a true spiritual guru, Lord, and the Maharishis and Tapasvis, treat their devotees in the same way, relating to each individually. Relating to each individually, like each gopi has felt that Lord Bhagavan Krishna is with him. Same way, this Guru, Ishvara, and the Maharishis and Tapasvis related with each disciple, each devotee, each disciple, the same way, relating to each individually, but withdrawing temporarily when the pride and egoism infect the disciple. When the ego and the pride are important. The moment that comes, automatically what happened? He said temporarily. Why? Because that's what I told you. If you're constantly in the flow of that, it's a simple flow of that. If you're constantly in flow, the inflow of the divine flow will be felt constantly. The moment you come out of it, what happens? He will withdraw temporarily when the pride and egoism infect the people, or the disciples, or the bhakts. And the bhakt is infected with egoism. He separates. When he separates from that, actually who is separating? He is separating from the Lord. He is separating from the Guru. He is separating from the Maharishi. He has to be constantly in his touch. May not be physically, but this is what I told you in a different way. Remember that? Always constantly have that in a simple colloquial method. I make you understand. Let him be there. Do everything in his presence so that he will take the responsibility. You will not know. If you have got simple faith, he like a shadow is always with you. You don't have to tell, please save me, please do this for me, please do that for me. What you have to do? You have to be always, without that ego, a constant relationship of surrender, quality of surrender to you. Without, your ego has to be absent in that. You don't know when the dangers come. Do you know? You're walking on the bridge in Calcutta, and suddenly one span of the bridge comes down. Only one truck fellow who was transporting smuggling goods, his truck only got spoiled. Others are all saved. What's that? One bridge fell down. Only on one truck only spoiled. Nobody got hurt. Why? That fellow was transporting smuggled goods. Like that, jokingly said. Of course, what does it mean? What do I mean by that is that when you come away from that, when you stop, lose your belief, when you lose your faith, when you don't surrender, when you are functioning only for your personal benefit, he withdraws temporarily. Gopis have thought they have become egoistic at one point of time. That Lord is with us always. That's why he vanished. Made them feel his absence. And they, through the tapasya, they came out of it gradually. And then they felt he's with us. But that was disastrous for them. They lost everything. They did not. A lot of varnana, kavi, bhavana is there in when he writes so many things, how the gopis behaved without combing their hair, without cooking meals, without bathing, without dressing properly. It's all kavi bhavana, of course. What is it expressing? Expressing that, that they lost themselves. Actually, he is there. Is there? So when you go away, or your ego plays in between, and your faith is lost, your contact is lost. Let us say that your contact is lost through faith and through surrender, through samarpana bhava. It's not a permanent thing that will be there with you. आशीर्वाद मिला है तो many of the religions also have that, they go for certain pilgrimage and they get some special names for that. They come back. So they will always refer themselves like like our army personnel or others. They are supposed, they can use their position, designation even after they retire, like brigadier, general, that can be used. Throughout life they can use. So they also use, when they come back from certain pilgrimage, they will also use such and such. I will not name that because it's against what some religion it will go. There you all understand what it is. But he throughout life, only once he has gone, that too for what, for stampede and all that. That fellow must have broken his leg. Has no faith and all that. Only for that he has gone. Then he will come and then he will say, I am, throughout life he will say, I am so and so. Once Pope is... Anyways, let's not discuss that's a very touchy and sensitive subject. I don't want to record it. I already recorded that. Well, in fact, I would like to. Otherwise, I would not have told her. But the fact is that, you think about it, whether I am wrong or not. I am open to criticism, no problem. This is the thing. It is not that he has already withdrawn. When you might have got the faith. I don't deny that. But the moment that you are gone and the ego has played that I am the visitor of Kedarnath. Throughout life, Kedarnath hota hai kya? Kedarnath stayed there only. You came back. Have to have the constant touch with Bhagavan. Constant touch with Samarpana Bhava, so that my ego should not get into even for a moment between me and my Lord, between me and my tapasvi, my Guru, my Maharshi, my tapasvi, my Jnana, my Brahman. There should not be even a moment that I am separated from him, so that his shadow will always be. I don't have to think what I am supposed to do. He, the shadow, guides me. Even though we think it is a shadow behind me, it guides you. Guides you. Have you noticed that all powerful engines function from the back? You will not believe that. So I will bring you to the mechanism now. Your car, where's the engine? It's on the front. Normally. Except one Volkswagen, which has got at the back also. Okay. The engine is in the front. Okay. Even though the engine is in the front means that you are thinking of the Lord. That's front. How it functions? As a shadow, I said. Which wheel is powered? It's the back wheel, it is powered. The front wheel is only rolling, that's all, guiding. It's only for steering. The movement of the car is guided by the engine, by that axle, and the shaft is powered and rotating at the back. All powers of this is what I said. So shadow, I'm justifying it. I mean, just giving you an example. So, don't think that shadow is at back, how can he guide me? No, it's not that. It's the shadow which takes you, guides you. Bhagwan is the one which gives you. Don't think, you don't have to think which danger is coming. हमको planning करने का है, कुछ नहीं. There are hundreds of people planning is not done. How it is not? We are planning so many things. 99.999 plans are in Hooghly River. कुछ नहीं हुआ, क्या हुआ? Unnecessary trouble. Unnecessary trouble भी होता है क्या? So what happens is that, why I am insisting that, why say I want to emphasize that, look, when we are learning all these things, at least let us, earlier there was nobody to tell us that what is what and what is what. But today it is known to us that, look, Bhakti is this. This is the way we have to do Bhakti. If we are practicing different ways, we have been taught, okay, you ask for it, you ask for sukha, you ask for family, you ask for members, you ask for society, you ask for this, you ask for that. You don't have to ask for society and things like that. And somebody else is there to take care. Don't try to be self-styled Chakravarti of the universe. Bhagwan is there to take care of everyone and everything. Have that constant touch without ego, with absolute samarpana, simplicity. That's why in every temple these rituals have been incorporated. By wearing a suit, you go and pray to the God, nothing wrong. Even with the shoes, if you go and pray to the God, nothing wrong. But certain principles have been derived in the temple that you go with a bare minimum clothes, to show that I should not be proud of my dress. So in South India they said that no shirt. It is not that people take offense to that, It's not like that. It is to teach you a lesson that you are like this. Just project yourself to the Bhagwan without any wheel in between you and the Lord. Is the meaning of not wearing a shirt. By not wearing a shirt, it's not that it's going to be great blessing to you. But you have to feel the simplicity of it. Wear only dhotis. Everybody is same. All same. There is no one who is having colorful dress, one is having expensive dress, one having golden this one, nothing. All simple. So that simplicity will create in you, that simplicity is created and inculcated. Is why this ritual has been created. Barefooted, it is because of so many other reasons. Why? Because you carry so many things, germs inside you. Plus when you walk around, I told you about this temple, Kshetra Darshana earlier, that acupressure, that's why that paving through that and walking around, then the earth energy, 7 rounds and 21 rounds, how many frequencies you are gaining, how the mind is changed and the frequencies are changed, and the prayer. They are all very scientifically calculated and prepared, and also makes you absolutely egoless. Like people do Shayana Pradikshina. Does Bhagwan want it actually? You vowed that I will do Shayana Pradikshina. Why? You are surrendering yourself to that. I don't care about my Sharira. I will do Pradikshina by whole of my body. I will rotate my body like that on the ground and do Shayana Pradikshina. What is that actually? It's only to make you conscious that you are surrendering yourself to the Lord. It's not your Sharira that is important. It's not your beauty of the Sharira, or it is your health of the Sharira. It may cut, it may bleed, it may do, so many things can happen in between, see. But you do that, Shayana Pradikshina. Why? You are making, by these actions, why these rituals are important? That's why rituals are important. Making you the people, okay, you all understand. But there are people who don't understand this. He has to do Shayana Pradeshanam and feel that I have surrendered myself at the feet of the Lord. Hey Bhagavan. Not standing erect up, lying down and rolling down. That to make that conversions of your emotion into bhakti, this is being done. But the one who has understood that, does he have to do Shayana Pradeshanam? No, not necessary. Understand? So, in whichever manner it is, why, as Bhagavan said here, that a true spiritual guru, teacher and master and then Maharishi and Tapasvi treats the devotees and the disciples the same way, relating to each individuality. They reach to each individuality. Somebody asked me some time back from Kanpur or something, Guruji, how do you relate to so many people? Suppose 10 people are asking you the help, how are you doing it? Actually, it is very significant as well as their level of thinking is concerned. He thinks that it's all no, people are just talking. You're all just preaching. Rubbish. You tell me how you relate. You tell me. He was asking for an explanation, but in a very decent way. Asking for an explanation. It's not that Sharira being associated. It's not the mind being associated. Hundreds of people standing in the temple and praying, to whom the God is blessing. How is He blessing? He said that relating to each individual. He said. How do you relate each individual? When you think an individual as a person, a mind and an intellectual center, an emotional center, a man, he can relate only to 1 or 2 persons or 5 persons who is in front of him. Even 5 persons are sitting, one can relate to one person only at a time. At one point of time, only relate one person only. Then how is he relating to so many people? This was the question. It is not the individual mind that is functioning. It is the divine spiritual self which is all pervading, is the one who is functioning. When I am shouting, whether there are 10 people or whether there are 1,000 people, or the sound reaches everybody's ears. How is it? Same word, at the same time, same sentence spoken by me is listened by thousands. The same way, the receiver and receptivity as well as blessing also reaches everyone who thinks about me, is that what Bhagavan says. Yes. So anything. Why? Because it is vast. It's not one mind who is thinking of you or seeing of you. It's the totality of the Brahma Sakshatkara, Brahma Jnana. Anybody and everything, whether you ask or not only when you are thinking, even when you are not thinking and when you don't want to think and when you want to hide and do something wrong also, He is seeing it. Seeing is not focused only on one unit, like sunlight, whether it's a hutment or whether it is a palatial building, in both there is light, sunlight. It doesn't have any discrimination. Same way, in a guru or in a god or in the tapasvi or a maharishi, he doesn't have a particular focus on a particular unit. He sees everything that is happening. So in that everything is seen. Because it is not seen through the eyes, because he has a vision. Not that he is seeing it. Seeing is done through the eyes only. He has a vision, evolutionary vision in that. So whatever you do, if he wants, he can see. So the blessings almost, so any thousands of people, crores and crores of people also think, and the blessings can be transmitted. It's why, like a shadow, it will be there. Wherever the saving is done, it can be there. So our faith has to be constant and absolutely egoless. Not even a fraction of a second, you should come out of it, be there. Everything is taken. Whatever is right for you, according to your karmic alas, It will make it simplified and make you do it. You have to cross the river, he will provide you with a boat. You have to cross the river. Otherwise you have to swim across. If you have faith, then he will provide you with a boat. You are crossing the river because that karmic phala has to be done, crossing the river. But he will provide you in a boat, right? Pleasantly enjoying the breeze. Cross the river. I'm just comparing it. This is how when you have constant, this again same Jnana Marga and Bhakti Marga, both are same. Control of mind and annihilation of the ego are the essence of all yogic disciplines. Let it be any yoga, this is the yogic discipline, including Bhakti Yoga. Even on this essential emotion path, the intellect must not be neglected. If it is disregarded, Bhakti Yoga can degenerate into fanaticism. This is how it has happened. How the fanaticism has come, it is because of this. My God, your God, all that happened. So, when the intellectual, that's why there should be jnanam. You want to do bhakti, there should be absolute jnanam. Then only you can do the real bhakti. Otherwise you will be a fanatic. That's it. How many divisions have been created by people? Let's not go into that. So, degenerate into fanaticism. This is how the fanaticism has started because of the egoistic approach of bhakti. Is how fanaticism has been created. If leave aside the ego, bhakti of yours and mine is same. If, on the other hand, it is transcended the devotee's experience, if otherwise, the devotee experiences para bhakti. Para bhakti is that beyond bhakti para. Bhakti is not an action. Bhakti is not a karma. It's not an action. It's a status. Bhakt is a status. Bhakti is a pravarti of the bhakt. Verb. Bhakti is a status. A bhakt, whatever he does is only bhakti. People, what they do is not bhakti. Remember. People, what they do is not bhakti. A bhakt, what he does is bhakti. That's why I told you about the story of the hunter. Take the meat, put it on Bhagwan's head, Shivalinga. Action of bhakti is bhakti. He has so much of faith in the Lord, he shared his food to the Lord. That's bhakti. That's bhakti. The other one, he doesn't. He does all the formalities. He brings chosen flowers, chosen leaves, chosen fruits, everything. Everything is done. Puja is done. Everything is very carefully done. Looks very clean and neat. One thing is missing. Samarpanam is missing. Bhakti is missing. Is it the puja or the other one is puja? So, what he said, what people do is not bhakti. It's not bhakti. The bhakt, even if he doesn't pray, not folding hands, even if he doesn't do that, that is bhakti. But he should be bhakt. What bhakt does is bhakti, what others are doing is not bhakti. It is show off. It's a classification. It's what probably Maharshi wanted to explain there. The para bhakti, the highest state of supreme devotional ecstasy, is a status. Devotional ecstasy is a status, para bhakti. It's not an action. I am a Bhakt. People claim, I am Vishnu Bhakt, so I have to put like this and covering the nose also. Vishnu Bhakt, Iyengar. Yeah, so we have got, I know in South India we have got no Iyengars are Vishnu Bhaktas, they will put this Trinamam. He is identifying himself. Shiva Bhakta will put like this, I am a Shiva Bhakta. Devi Bhakta will put Sindhu, I am a Devi Bhakta. That's called fanaticism. Why? Intellectual identities have not been made. Jnanam is not there in Bhakti. Only he thought his action is the best and he considered himself, certified himself, self-certified Bhakt. It's not a Bhakt. Whatever a Bhakt does is a Bhakti. Whatever others are doing is not. Is the hunter's example is the best one. He didn't pray. He brought it, hey Bhagavan, this is what I got to do. I am going because my wife and children are waiting. I have to go. Okay? Fine. Bhakti, you see. Converses with him. He converses with him. He's got so much of freedom to converse with him. So much of freedom to be with him. You see. Because he's one with him. There is a reluctance. हे भगवान क्षमा करो हमसे भूल हो गई. Absolute thug. Ego. Ashrams and solitude are not necessary for a bhakti yoga because it is the self-inculcated and developed. The mental attitude alone is important. This attitude of devotion is also necessary for progress of the paths of yoga. Even the intellectual approach of Jnana Yoga needs an element of bhakti is necessary. In Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is not absolute mathematical calculation of division of x plus y is equal to this. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. That will be, very dry, Jnana. In that, the surrender quality comes. Atma comes, Bhakti comes, that simplicity comes, and emotion comes, the highest emotion, the higher emotion comes, then it becomes the Jnana Marga. So, even in the Jnana Marga, it is necessary. Those who turn to Bhakti Yoga are moved by one of 4 general motivations. The one who are in the Bhakti Yoga, these are due to 4 motivations, 4 general motivations. There are maybe others also. What Maharishi says here, distrust can be a powerful factor. One who is absolutely distressed, no way out, block ho gaya, hey Bhagwan, rasta dikhao. In distress we think of Bhagwan. I told this, I think in a previous class, in hatred also. In distress we think of Bhagwan. Now अभी क्या करेगा हे ईश्वर, हम लोग तो फंस गया, कहाँ जाएंगे? भगवान रास्ता दिखाओ. In distress one turns into bhakti. When all else has failed, there is no recourse left but to turn to the God. How many soldiers in the battle and people burdened by extreme sorrow have found God in their refuge. That means in sorrow they find God. We told about Kunti and other examples. In sadness and sorrow, everything is lost, everybody is lost. I have lost everything. Absolute sadness, Bhagavan, now kya karenge now? Ishwari. In sadness, he turns out in curiosity is another impetus. क्या होगा? Let me try at least भक्ति करके. हमारे से तो कुछ हुआ नहीं है. सारा जिंदगी हम toiled. Let me try this also. Whether it comes or not. Curiosity of bhakti. This also turns out into looking beyond the external trapping of the worship. The mind seeks to understand what lies behind the symbolism, words and rituals and pushes on to the other story. The third motive is a desire for gain. not to be explained, I think. You all must have done. All good. Desire for gain. What? Whether it to be love, knowledge, or wealth, etc. God is petitioned as the benevolent Father who will grant favors if approved with faith and devotion. My बाप है, colloquial language is आप हमारे माई बाप है ना, एक होते I know that because I've mingled with all these people. आप हमारे माई बाप है, न माई है न बाप है. So people for the desire of gain कुछ मिले इससे, कम से कम तो बाप अंदर में तो बोलता होगा कुछ. शंभो महादेवा क्षमा करो. So the highest bhakti, these are all the yes of char with 4 methods people turn into bhakti. But the highest bhakti is selfless. That is the true bhakti. Selflessness. Aham is not there. For me, requirements are not there. Only one requirement. Merge in you. The motivation is simple desire to love and serve the God. Only with this attitude will the ego disappear. ये अच्छा है, क्योंकि इसलिए the temples have been made, we have created God, we made people understand God, children also. देखो बेटा भगवान है, मानना है, भगवान ऊपर है, वो सब देखते हैं. It's very good. It's very good to teach them. Why? Because every man should know there is somebody above. See, you see in this world, let it be any efficient man, wealth-wise, health-wise, position-wise, or in any wise for that matter, strongest persons, powerful person have been created. When a powerful person has been created, you should remember one thing. He has created another powerful person, powerful than you. Who has won? Let it be Alexander, let it be Ashoka, let it be he, whatever it is. No, he's created most powerful people. Whenever he has created one power, one Asura he has given the Vara, immediately he created another Asura in order to kill him. This is the rule, this is the niyama. So it is always nice to know, even for children from small, we are all brought up like that. Yes, beta Bhagwan, Ishwar hai, be kind, he sees everything, don't do anything wrong. This consciousness, bringing that, even though it is a wrong way of teaching, maybe that's at that age, what else, how can one teach? Fine. But one should be conscious that there is someone above me. I am not the most powerful man who can do anything and everything. कुछ भी सोचा तो कर दिया. No, ऐसा नहीं है. There is somebody who is more powerful than me, who will bring me down, who will suppress me down. This consciousness will make me humble, make me surrender to the Lord. That's the principle of being. This is psychological impact of making you do that, even though it is not a truth. But these methods of rituals and following has been done only to make people purified, so that he becomes purified. He should not get ahankara that I am most powerful. When he thinks that there is somebody who is powerful than you. There is a saying, I heard some of Dr. Gopalakrishnan and others talking when Alexander came to the India and Asian countries to conquer. His mother told him, when you go to India, there are powerful saints. She only told this. There are powerful saints. Visit them. They will teach you what is the truth. Now, there are stories like that. He comes to a rishi, then stands with a horse, showing that I am so and so, I am conqueror of this, I am Alexander and all that. So Maharishi sitting under the tree looked at him. Please move, you and your horse, please move a little away. I am obstructed by the sunlight. Man who conquered, he asked him, just move. Without weapons, without army, the big army with weapons and all that, asked him to move from one side, that's all. His mother told that, sit there. Then he remembered about it. He prayed to him and things like that. There are so many things are there. So what is that? What we have to understand is that there is always somebody who is much more powerful than me. Please remember that. You can't criticize, you can't overpower, you can't blame, you can't suppress, you can't destroy anybody by any means. Nor by words, nor by deeds. You can't do that. He has to think. And he has to think. Who are meeting with him. If I am meeting, I have to be constantly at his sharana. His shadow is always with me. Nothing can touch me. That paraphernalia is around me is highly powerful energy, which will not allow anything else penetrate into me. This is what we have to inculcate and we have to believe it. Many people, youngsters and others, even older people, they don't believe in such things, because they believe only those things that they can experience and see. And they want an explanation for everything. As I told you, Brahman and Brahma Shakti cannot be explained. It has to be believed and experienced only at a certain stage. So we have to believe those people. So what happens? Where am I? Yes, that's okay. The highest bhakti. Now, what is the highest bhakti is selfless. The motivation is a simple desire to love and serve the God. Only with the attitude of this ego disappear. One cannot attain liberation until all desires, including spiritual desire itself, have been burned. Jnanamarga also we said that all desires have to be, what is it? How to make the desires. That's why I told from the beginning, I think, Samarpana Bhava, Upasana, Nididhyasana. Be one with that, always one simple colloquial sentence. Feel that, something is there always. In presence of that. Be a servant. Dasya Bhava. Very nice. Dasya Bhava. Okay, anyway, the Bhakti Yoga makes use of gross forms and rituals as aids to self-surrender. Altars, statues, pictures, etc. are not in themselves objects of worship. The omnipresent Lord is as present as the images as anywhere else. The image is merely used as a focal point for worship of God. We have told this. That's how the installation in the temple also, like we also do that, we keep photographs and all that. We need a focal point, so it's okay, nothing wrong, right? But through that, come to forms of devotion. Now, what are the forms of devotion? We will discuss in the next class. Om Shanti.